So undead versus elves. Let's throw it in a slow motion here. Starting here with one leader, we have the Tomb King leader, Archon the Black, Fate of Buna, Tomb Blade of Archon, Staff of Nagash, the Liber Mortis, Fate of Buna, Doom of Darkness, Spirit Leech, Aspect of the Dread Knight, My Will Be Done, all the accoutrements. And then for the Vampire Count leadership, yeah, I think I'm going to go over leadership first in 2v2s just because the armies are going to be so massive. Got some White Kings with White King with Scabscrath. For the Lord, it looks like he's up in the air, and it's going to be Blood Dragon Lord. And he is going to have Heart Piercing, Helm of Discord, Raise Dead, Van Hell's Dance Macabre, Invocation of the Heck. Now for the infantry, and also before I forget, let's change these controls. And for the infantry here, looks like we're going to have some zombies up front, 3 of them backed up by some Tomb Guard. Looks like we're going to have 2 regular Tomb Guard, or make that, yeah, so 2 regular Tomb Guard, but one of them going to be the ROR variant. We're going to have 2 with halberds as well, backed up by 2 Tomb Scorpions. Besides those 2 Tomb Scorpions, we are going to be looking at some Blood Knight support. So 2 Blood Knights on the right flank, very heavy cavalry here, very capable of taking down the heaviest of foes. And then we have some Vargeist in the air accompanying the Blood Dragon Lord. So I think that rounds out our blue team. Now for the red team here, Tetya-Motya, we have the elves. So going over their leadership first in similar fashion, we got Tyrion here. He's going to have Feint and Riposte, Sunfang, yeah, as well as Stand Your Ground, Heart of Averlorn. We are also going to be looking at a Mage of Life with Shield of Thorns, Earthblood, Book of Hoeth, and Lifebloom? Yep, that's the one. Now, for the cavalry, going to be seeing a Fate of Buna going down on top of the Fireborn by the looks of it. 3 Cold One Knights, 2 Archers, 3 High Elf Spearmen. Then we're going to have 2 Scourgerunner Chariots. They can hide too? Okay, that's just stupid. As if they weren't OP enough. You're telling me a Scourgerunner Chariot can hide in the forest. A Goblin Wolf Chariot can't hide in the forest, and these guys can? That pisses me off. Oh, man, I'm sorry, Chad. I'm heated. Also, I need to take my camera off. Oh, that's so stupid. They could hide, too. What a... You have to do the ROR Greenskin Chariot to be able to hide. How stupid. CA fix that. Anyways, I digress. I think that rounds out pretty much both of the forces besides the Dark Elf leader, who, of course, is going to be a Supreme Sorceress of Fire. That's not who I actually thought it was going to be. We're going to be seeing Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Ruin, as well as Opal Amulet, Arcane Conduit, and Kindle Flame. So, I think we're about ready to kick it in the real time here, and already you just see so much pressure being put on top of the the Fireborn, and Earthblood going down trying to counteract the damage that's come in, but it looks like some models got killed there, and to be honest, I missed it. I assumed it was a Fate of Buna, but honestly, assuming always makes an ass of you and me, so maybe it was a breath, who knows. Just kidding, there's nothing that could give a breath on the field, so. Anyways, options are limited. Right now, it looks like we're going to see the Vargeist as well as the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord dive into combat against the Supreme Sorceress of Fire, who now has Flaming Sword of Ruin popped on top of her, but a Helm of Discord has been popped, and I'll be damned. How is she doing this good? Opal Amulet, I guess it's just all the damage resistance on top of her, but in any case, she's doing very, very well for herself for being double-teamed up in the air by Vargeist and the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, and looking around trying to see there's not really archers firing and supporting fire, so I'm baffled at how she is doing that. Oh, just kidding. We're going to be looking at the Scourgerunner Chariots. I'm so used to looking at High Elves on High Elves, it's kind of confusing. Anyways, like I said, we'll be learning together for these 2v2s. Over here, going to be seeing a nice charge from the Blood Knights, or pulling back into the Tomb Kings, actually. Cold Knight's going to be diving in, thinking about it, but then pulling back out as the Halberds and the Tomb Scorpions approach. I like that very much. I think that's the right call. Now, it looks like the Elves are going to go ahead and pull back, buy themselves some time with their Spearmen up front, but I would really like to see the Spearmen over here applying some pressure onto that front line engagement, but it looks like they're too busy over here trying to save the Supreme Sorceress of Fire, who, after staying in combat for a while, did go down. I'm just baffled that she was up there for that long. Must be something in the meta that I'm just ignorant to. Over here, Scourge Chariots just wreaking havoc in the back line. Sorry, not wreaking havoc. I guess they're just trying to get away from Blood Knights now that I'm turning around, but the Blood Knights are now getting caught by a bunch of Cold One Knight. a bunch of Cold One Knights, and we'll see how they fare. I mean, Invocation Heck can always turn things around. It looks like we're going to see a summon here of zombies on top of the Cold One Knights as well, given that rear charge penalty. But yeah, other than that, you know, it's looking pretty rough for the Elves. Their front line, which was 3 spearmen, is gone. Not really a surprise there. And it just looks like the undead infantry is now catching up to the elf cavalry, and once that happens, it's going to be game over, because these guys aren't going to be able to cycle charge all of this infantry, especially when you have like 2 Tomb Guard with halberds. So I don't know. We will see, but it's looking pretty bad for the forces of life here as far as I'm concerned. In the back line, looks like the Cold Knights are trying to pull out of those trees, reorient themselves, but they keep on pulling back a bit too far for me. But here they go. They're now turning around, trying to get on top of Ark on the Black, but the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord's up in the air over them. He's going to go ahead and dive into combat. Heart Piercing on top of him, debuffing that armor, and then meanwhile over on the front line, so to speak, we're just going to see that the undead have completely dominated it. I mean, there's 1 unit of spearmen here holding back some Tomb Guard with halberds, and that's really nice that they're holding back. That's cost efficiency, but other than that, there's really no infantry to speak of for the elves. Their lords are still alive. It looks like Tyrion's now going to try and dive in on top of a White King. But yeah, the Supreme Sorceress of Fire is gone, and now these Cold One Knights, they just don't have the leadership to hold it together, and they also just can't kill 2 Tomb Scorpions. So I think this is going to be a GG, and yeah, we'll see what happens in round 2. I'm happy to see the players sticking with the theme, though. It's cool. Now, Tyrion, in spite of his sword being on fire, just does regular damage, physical damage, so he does some good damage, but it seems like some misinformation here. Your sword's on fire and you don't do fire damage? What the hell, Tyrion? Is that all for show? You're like the fake Sir Hassan? Oh, Tyrion gonna be duking it out against the White King now, but the problem for him is there's Tomb Guard with halberd behind him. But Sunfang, oh wow, look at him. He's like, what was my problem again? Oh, that's right. Problem nearly negated. Scourge Chariot's going in for some nice rear charges. But look, oh no, the Jade Wizard getting routed right now. Some High Elves regrouping on the peripheries maybe, but besides the Scourge Chariots and Tyrion, everything is falling apart, and now we're going to have 2 Tomb Scorpions coming up over the ridge here, getting ready to help out that White King in combat against the legendary hero Tyrion. And Tyrion's actually going to say, I'm good. Let's get out of here. Let's go find a different fight. What's over here? Oh, my men need me. Yeah, I'm not running away. Oh, Blood Knights. Oh, shit. Blood Dragon Lord. Oh, shit. Yeah, sorry, Tyrion. I think that's going to be all she wrote for you. And there comes some some zombie summons. I just like to condense it for time purposes. So there goes some Zomans. And Tyrion looks well good and caught now. And there go army losses. And it's going to be a GG. Whew. He took very little casualties. He did have a rather elite Tomb King army there. The vampires, you know. I like this undead combination. Let the Tomb Kings focus on the infantry and the single entities, and then let the vampire counts focus on the mobility. And that just is a nice pairing. The White King, nice addition as well. Coming over here to the Elves, Supreme Sorceress of Fire. I don't dislike that pick. I thought it was strange that she stayed in combat, and I thought that was a bad decision at first, and I still think it was in hindsight, but it was also, I was very surprised at how well she did in that combat, so I can't completely, diss it. The Cold One Knights and the Scourge Runner Chariots, I like that, interesting pick, but I don't know, maybe some infantry, because, after all, Dark Elves, they're renowned for their infantry, not their cavalry. Like Scourge Runner Chariots, hell yeah. But infantry for the Dark Elves against these two factions, I think, is just like a really solid idea. Hargath Executioners can just kill hundreds of undead units for days. They don't care about anything. Sisters of Slaughter, almost the same thing. You gotta watch out for ethereal units, but in any case, for the High Elves, once again, the difference between this army, right, the undead armies, is like weak infantry, strong cavalry, strong infantry, no cavalry, and like they have the Tomb Scorpions, obviously, which are there to support the infantry, like just cycle charge through infantry, support the Tomb Guard, and then double team heroes if the occasion arises. But this one also has the Fireborn, and that's really expensive. But then they only have 3 spearmen, so this entire combination has 3 units of spearmen. And I like the idea of mobile armies, but for me it felt like they played it a bit statically, got the front line engaged too quickly, and didn't let the mixed unit tactics shine that he needed. So in any case, still great games to both players. I enjoyed watching that a lot, and I'm excited to see the next round.